Hi guys, on this show we're looking at Hines, Gordon, Madeley, Reiner, Prentice, Fiennes, Gleeson and Farrell. We're looking at 2008's In Bruges.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of 100 Things We Learned from Film. I'm one of your hosts, my name's Planty, and I'm going to take that back about your cunt kids.
And I'm John, and don't use any about my cunt kids! Cunt kids, brilliant.
I was about to call you an inanimate object, but I thought that was a little bit harsh.
It's too much. You're taking that too far. Don't you dare call my kids inanimate objects.
How are you, John?
I'm alright, buddy. It's unseasonably warm for this time of year, by the way. It's nearly taps off. It's 6 degrees in Glasgow, and Stirling.
As you can see from my hoodie, it's fucking Baltic here, mate. Actually, I'm going to take it off because throughout the recording, I'm going to get hot and it's getting hot in here. Yeah. So, John, what are we talking about this week?
We're going In Bruges, 2008's Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson film.
Yeah. Now we've talked for fucking donkeys about this, by the way, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Now I'm going to tell you a little tale, which is going to bring us into the fact that we're almost on our 100th episode. We're just a couple of episodes away from recording our 100th episode, which, as regular listeners know, is going to be us revisiting our first episode, The Crew. Now, this was on Netflix. So this is on Netflix. I sent a job.
Oh, no, it was. I watched it on the 30th, and that was the last day.
Yes. And you know what, John? So did I. I watched it for the first time on the 30th.
Ooh.
And I was like, oh, it's all right, because I got it upstairs. So what I did that night, after I'd watched it and done my first kind of set of notes, I tried upstairs to find my copy of In Bruges, which I no longer have, on standard definition DVD. So I had to go to the place where everybody knows you stink, CEX, to get a copy, which was £1. So I now own another copy of In Bruges. So that's going on the 100 Things We Learned from Film wall, which is actually it's a decent sized shelf. The good thing is I'm not going to have to go and get a copy of The Crow in standard def.
Oh yeah, the crowing's already.
Episode.
It's already there.
We are, yeah. We've already started crowing about that one.
Oh, nice.
Listeners, of course, we are the podcast tries to learn 100 things from the film. I've watched it and bought it again. John's watched it, and we've come up with some facts. If you want to get involved on this, next week will be our Christmas Patreon choice special. You might still have time to vote if you're very, very quick at signing up. Give us £1. And we will shout you out at the end of every episode, as well as giving you access to vote and some extra bits and pieces. I am recording some extra bits next week to be released over the Christmas period for y'all, as Americans say.
The Americans.
Absolutely. So we're going to be doing some facts and lies and rock and roll as little extras come in later this month. John, 2008. I saw this in the theatre, as the Americans would say, by the way. And I've got some theatre stuff to share with you a little bit later on. What else could we have been talking about in 2008? Year of our Lord, 2008.
I'll start with the bad.
Okay.
The bad is The Happening.
Oh, it was the plants what done it. Yeah,
It was god awful. It was a great start. Everybody's not a great start, but people throw themselves off buildings.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
It was pretty graphic.
Oh, what? Bro? It was the plants, bro.
It was the plants. The ganja made me do it. Disaster movie. I'm sure there was Twilight came out at that point, wasn't it?
Okay. Yeah, one of them.
Let's talk about that better. Some gold in there was Don't Mess with the Zohan.
Oh, fucking hell. Can we move on?
Nope. Mirrors with Jack Bauer.
Kevin Bacon?
No, Jack
it's
Bauer.
not Kevin Bacon, is it? Yeah. I've never seen it. I don't think it's for me.
Actually, all right.
Is it?
Amy Smart does that thing where she grabs her own mouth and pulls it open.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that bit. Yeah.
Jumper.
Oh no. Anakin Skywalker. Is it
Yes.
Anakin Skywalker?
Put it down.
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
Oh
Yeah.
man, does he not jump to Egypt on that bit and misses out the perfect opportunity to say, "I don't like sand. It's coarse and it gets everywhere." Fucking hell.
And was it Samuel L. Jackson with the white hair?
Yeah.
Never good. And last but not least, see, there I'm looking at, I'm thinking maybe 2008 was a bit of a shit year because there's not a lot. And the curious case of Benjamin Button.
Oh man, again, theatres for that one for me. I was at the cinema for that one.
Picky poozers. And last but not least, I'll just give you this one: Angus Thongs and Perfect Snogging.
Oh, all right, okay, yeah. Famous for my Angus thongs, whatever those are. All right, shall we get started?
Let's get on with it. Let's do it.
Let's get this party started. Right, okay. So we open with, as always, we've got those lovely title card type things that we get in all these films. This one, we've got a couple. We start with Focus Features. Presents Focus Features, founded in 2002. It's a distributor famous for Billy Elliot and The Pianist, as well as Lost in Translation, Dallas Buyers Club. So they're good at that kind of Oscar baity stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Its most successful film is Downton Abbey, which is for old people, and it made 194 million of your US dollars.
It's not that much, is it? But
but that's what it made. That was profit.
Profit?
Yeah, something question mark profit. Film 4 Productions is the other one. You know them. Overseas listeners probably don't know. We've got a UK TV channel called Film 4. But this is the production arm. Famous for Trainspotting, Sexy Beast, and 24-Hour Party People. All future episodes, of course.
All classics, man. All classics.
And 12 Years a Slave, which is not a future episode. Famously, Death to Smoochie was the film that nearly killed it because it was such a bomb. And in 2002, they were bailed out by the Channel 4. So there you go. Right, In Bruges, nominated for Best Original Screenplay in 2009. It didn't win it. That was won by Milk, the film, not the drink.
Right, okay.
That would be just silly.
Milky.
Oh, Jesus. It's a reference for nobody, maybe for Joe. It made 34.5 million US off of a 15 million budget. That's not bad, is it?
Nah, that's good.
Double your money and then? Yeah, not bad at all. It starts with this lovely footage of Bruges at night. And I love the music on this, by the way.
Oh, God.
Really liked this Carter Burwell thing. It was good. And it starts... I'm not going to do the accent. After I killed them, I dropped the gun in the Thames, washed the residue off my hands in the bathroom of a Burger King, and walked home to await instructions. Shortly thereafter, the instructions came through. Get the fuck out of London, you dumb fucks, and get to Bruges. I didn't even know where Bruges fucking was. It's in Belgium. I love use dumb fucks. Something beautiful about that. It's really good. Of course, that's Ray, Colin Farrell, and we've basically got a young hitman and an old hitman, which is which kind of works for me. Brendan Gleeson. They're booked for 2 weeks in Bruges, aren't they? Now, it doesn't strike me, John, as the kind of place that you would want to spend 2 weeks.
No 2 weeks, but it was beautiful, though.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's been on my list since, I don't know, I saw this film.
2009.
Exactly.
It's stunning to look at.
They're booked in a twin room under assumed names. Ray, of course, is not best pleased, and Ken mentions they know why we're here, which upsets Ray, because obviously we, the viewer, don't yet know. They're out on this boat, right? And Ray's not impressed. He is sat, like, sulking, isn't he? Freezing cold. Sulking like a fucking child.
Yep, collar up, sitting with a bloody face.
Yeah, I would be fucking delighted, by the way, because it looks amazing. It really does. Yeah, and let's be honest, John, the beer. That Trappist, those Trappist beers, man. Yeah. Those triples at 8.5%. Get them in me. Ken mentions that Bruges is the most well-preserved medieval town in the whole of Belgium. It's absolutely true, so we're adding it down as a fact.
Yeah, I looked at all this. I actually looked at Bruges' most famous thing. It's most famous for its lace making.
It is most famous for the lace making, John. I had that as well, which is what Bruges and Nottingham have in common.
Ah, the lace.
That and the fact that everyone must be pissed all the time.
24/7.
It's the capital, John, of a region known as West Flanders.
Oh, I bet you were gigging. I was going to say giggity gigging in there. That's just a totally different cartoon.
Stupid, sexy medieval city. He offers him the chance to go up this clock tower, this bell tower.
Yep.
And the line is, and I've changed this slightly. He says, I grew up in Dublin. I love Dublin. If I'd grown up on a farm and I was the R word, it might impress me. But I wasn't, and it doesn't. It's a great line. It's a fantastic line.
Yeah, do you know where that belfry was, or what it is?
It's in the... I don't, John. No.
It's called the Belfry of Bruges.
Right.
And it was built over several periods between the 13th and the 15th century, but it's one of the most famous landmarks in Bruges.
Its name is Belfort, John, which is Flemish for belfry. It's 83 metres high, 366 steps to the top. It is open 10 till 6, and it costs you €14, not the €5 that he gets charged in the film.
Inflation, man.
That is inflation for you, bruv. Bad crack.
Although did you see it? Part of there was was that horse and cart?
Oh right, yeah.
Going by, and I was just looked up, and it says there's a flat rate for half an hour of €50.
Wow.
€50. So it's expensive for one person, but you get up to 4. So if it's 4 people,
Okay.
splitting
That's not bad.
right.
Yeah, that's not bad.
I thought €50 for a half an hour. Jesus.
Yeah, you could probably walk faster and all. You know.
Better go to Amsterdam for that kind of money.
This boy charging him, by the way, he's counting out. He's like, "Okay, going to use up all my change," which is like a proper classic. You've got euros and you're going to use them up when you
Everyone.
when you got the continent, isn't it?
Yeah, because you can't take anything less than €1 back, which is so annoying.
Yeah, exactly. And he's counting them out. It's $4.80, and he goes in his pocket and he gets that 10 cents. He's like, $4.90. Oh. You let me in for $4.90? He points at the thing. €5. Happy in your work? Yes, very happy. This
Such
guy.
a smart, wouldn't you?
And we've all had job worths like that, right?
Yep, oh, definitely.
At the top, he looks out over the whole square. He sees Ray and does like a gun with his fingers, doesn't he?
Yeah. Blammo.
Down in the square, this fat American family, or a normal-sized American family, I don't know. They ask Ray if he's been up. Oh yeah, it's rubbish. Really? It's meant to be like a must-see, according to the pamphlet. He's going, you lot aren't going up there, are you? It's really windy stairs, and I aren't being funny, but yous are a bunch of fucking elephants.
That's so blunt, isn't it?
Now, as a man that is a fucking elephant, you know, I was into that. The guy tries to chase him. He's a big lad, like, and he's a big chunk. He tries to chase him, but can't catch him. And all Ray's doing is like weaving, isn't he? Yeah, he's doing like the boxing weave.
Yeah.
Because he's wee and he's fit. And as like they're storming off, the daughter turns around. You know, you're just the rudest man. The rudest man.
Oh, yeah. Then Gleeson's like, what happened?
And you see Ray just shrug, and then he clocks him for a second, and he's like, you're not going up there. I mean, it is really narrow. So I was like, screw you, motherfucker!
Oh,
Ray's retort is beautiful, by the way. He looks really confused as Ken, and he's like, it's Americans, isn't it?
Ain't it no, bruv?
It's brilliant work. I've laughed so many times at that this week.
Oh, mate, it's just hilarious.
They're in the pub and now Ray's in his element. And this, to be honest, this would be me after we've done all the good stuff. I would be, right, let's go to the pub and let's do this. And the line is, a gay beer for my gay friend and a normal beer for me, because I'm normal. So I wasn't into that, and there's absolutely no way at all whatsoever that I've looked up gay beers, because it's not a thing, obviously. But I'll tell you what, John, when you are knocking back one of those 11.8% fucking quarter pints, you are going to be on your back, as he does later on. He's got these halves, hasn't he?
Oh,
he
yeah,
knocks
yeah.
back 4 in 20 minutes. The barman's kind of like laughing at him as if to say, "Oh, you're definitely fucking British or Irish."
Well, I looked that up because I thought, man, that's a lot to be drinking. But it turns out that the body can only sort of, your liver can only sort of break it down at a rate of 1 pint per hour.
We'll
So
fucking see. We'll see. when we spend
challenge
all
accepted.
that when we spend all that podcast money, all the Patreon funds goes on a trip to Bruges. We'll fucking see, John.
We'll let you know.
Yeah. Ken explains that they're there waiting for a call from Harry. He says, we're not hiding it. He says, oh, well, what a stupid place to come. It seems a bit over the top to hide out. Why would we hide out there? You can hide out in Croydon. So, friend of the podcast, previous guest, Gavin Belson, works somewhere round the corner from Croydon. So I did have to ask him. I said, Gav, can you hide out in Croydon? He says, yes, absolutely you can. The only thing you can't hide from in Croydon is teenage knife crime. Again, more cheery outlooks from the Belson boys there, if you want to have a listen to their podcast.
Always look on the bright.
Little advert. I need to be cleverer on that. Ken says Harry can get guns anywhere, so they probably are doing a job there.
Yeah.
That night, Ray says Harry isn't calling. They should go to the pub. Ken isn't having any of it. So he tries a change of tact. Let's go and see the architecture and that. And this works. This bit, by the way, give me really heavy Ted and Dougal relationship vibes.
Oh, did
it? Like the way they were behaving, like the way he was behaving, like kind of trying to trick him.
Yeah.
But he's a little bit smarter than Dougal. A little bit smarter than Dougal.
Marginally. Yeah. I was looking up gun permits.
All right, yeah.
Belgium. So, as a nation that prohibits the private possession of fully automatic weapons, but will permit ownership for semi-automatic weapons in certain scenarios. So, same as everywhere else, really, isn't it?
So you can get a semi in Bruges.
As always, yeah. Why not?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So
unless you drink 4 pints.
Out in the square, Ray spots that they're filming. They're filming midgets. Something I say all the time. I say, like, alarmingly regularly, if I see a camera, they're filming midgets. We see a girl on set, Chloe. Did you recognise this Chloe character out of anything, John, the actor?
Yes. If the life may has escaped me, because every time I see her face, I think, "Oh, she's out of that."
She is. She's one of the. She's one of the Bo Battock's school girls out of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
That's who she is.
Yeah,
that's who she is. Yeah,
so that character. It's certainly in the books, at least, ends up marrying one of the Weasley boys? Question mark. How the fuck I remember that? I've no idea. But she she is bang tidy though.
Aye, yeah.
And Ray heads over to talk to her at the coffee stand. She explains they're making a Dutch film. She says, he says, do you speak English? No. Sure you do. Everybody speaks English. You're kind of like, oh, right, okay, great. And then she's like, oh, yeah, we're making a Dutch film. It's kind of a pastiche of Nicholas Rogue's Don't Look Now. No, pastiche is a bit kind of harsh, more a kind of a homage. And he's like, shit, you do speak good English. Basically, he's been found out she speaks better English than him. What I would call it is a rip-off of Don't Look Now. Of course, the film, Julie Christie and Donald Sutherland shagging after their daughter drowns. Yep. 1973 film. They go on about it being a classic. It's so boring to me, John. Such a boring film. It's an half bang on a bit, but I guess I'm not anybody's parent, so what do I know? Ray explains a lot of midgets kill themselves.
Did you look this up, by the way?
Of course I fucking did.
And do it, because I never found it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
I didn't look up any stats because that's a bit gauche. But I did look up the names of the ones that he mentioned. Herb Villachase, you know Herb Villachase, of course. Knick Knack. Master, zip lane! Yeah. Herb Villachase did indeed kill himself 1993 at the age of 50. Shot himself due to chronic pain issues. One of the Time Bandits, you're not wrong. David Rappaport was the one that shot himself. 1990, age 38. That's fucking sad.
That's really sad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's why there's no Time Bandits 2.
Oh, really?
Because there was a Time Bandits 2 in the certainly an idea at least at that point. Like 10 years on, it seems a bit of a fucking ill weight, doesn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
He says, not R2D, not the R2D2 man. He's still going, which I kind of liked.
Yeah, the time he was.
On the bright side, Kenny Baker is still with us, except he isn't. Died at 81 in 2016.
Yeah.
Didn't kill himself, but you're a feisty one. You'll soon learn some manners. Anyway, how interesting about midgets, or small people, or dwarves, as they prefer to be called.
I looked up, but I couldn't find it. I didn't want to find it, to be honest.
I think this film is very, very good. I think it's exceptional fun. But what I will say is, there's a lot of stuff in it that has aged extremely poorly. There's lots of R slurs. There's a few homophobic slurs.
Smoking in public places.
Smoking in public, yeah, absolutely. And there's a few of those that I'm not going to repeat, although they are quote unquote great lines from the film. But listeners, I'm not doing them. If you're looking for the R word, it's not fucking happening. You should know by now that that's not what we do. He says he'll tell Chloe what he does at dinner tomorrow night. She laughs and walks away, flicks a business card over for him, so he's got a date. Back at the hotel, there's a message from Harry. I've written this down.
Word for word?
Yeah. Number 1, why aren't you in when I fucking told you to be in? Number 2, why doesn't this hotel have phones with fucking voicemail on them, and not that I have to leave messages with the fucking receptionist? Number 3, you better fucking be in tomorrow night when I fucking call again, otherwise there'll be fucking hell to pay. I'm fucking telling you. It's brilliant. Here's a question for you. When you first saw this, did you have any clue who that was?
No.
No, me either.
Even now, when I'm listening, sometimes I forget it's him.
Yeah. What a fucking chameleon Fiennes is, isn't he? What an absolute fucking chameleon.
Yeah. The That Strange Days, we still need to go back to that, but even every part he's in is totally different from the other. Admittedly, it had hair back then, but...
I was listening to Modern Escapism the other day, and Gadget was saying that he went to see The Menu. Him and Pip went to see The Menu. He said it's amazing. He said it's really, really good. It looks good. It's got some great actors in. It's really interesting. That Ray comes in later. He wakes up Harry. He said, "I've had 6 pints of beer, 7 bottles, and I'm not even pissed." That morning, he explains to Ken that he's got a date. And Ken shows him the note from Harry. Jeez, he swears a lot, doesn't he? Which I thought was really good. Ray reminds him he can't stay in because he's got a date. He says, okay, well, today we're doing what I want to do. Striking a balance of culture and fun. And I'm not doing that line because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Watch the film. Watch the film.
Watch it.
Yeah, you might like it. You might, that's really clever and really funny. And maybe it was, but it isn't now. In this church, Ray's fed up, acting like a child. He's kicking this fucking chair. Ken turns to him like a fucking angry dad. Didn't we agree we'd do what I want without you throwing a moody? I don't remember agreeing to that. In the square, Ray is sat next to a man with this disgusting-looking bear dog thing.
Oh, did you see that? Was that a glass eye, by the way?
No, it's proper eyes because you see the eyes move.
Right, but no. But do you know you can get glass eyes for dogs, though?
No! Oh, John, you've gone above and beyond this week.
I did, aye. So, the cost of the prosthesis is $2,000 if you want one eye, or $2,600 for both eyes. It's called IPS.
Oh, fucking hell. It makes me shit. It's fucking IPS, all right.
I can't believe you never looked up glass eyes for dogs.
No, because why would I?
Because it looked as if I had a glass eye.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. It took some finding. The dog is a Portuguese water dog. Reddit tells me. Thanks, Reddit. But Reddit also radicalised me to hate women.
Right.
But somebody says it could have mange, which is probably why it looks like cocaine teddy bear.
Oh,
you've seen that trailer, by the way?
No,
Fucking hell.
I see Ray's in it. Ray Liotta's in it.
Yeah, Jesus! Imagine if that is like
Yeah,
that's his final release.
And he's got a few more in
Of course he has.
some
All of which were shot in like, I don't know, fucking Nicaragua or wherever. Do you know what I mean? Tax free.
Some were nice and cheap.
He waves. He sees the dwarf actor who he'd kind of waved at the night before. He waves at him and gets ignored. He's just like, fucking cunt.
What's his name? Jimmy or something like that?
Yes, Jimmy. Yeah, Jimmy. That's it. I hadn't written it down. I've written like the little person actor all the way through, and I haven't written down Jimmy. He remembers back to being in confession, where he says to the priest that he's guilty of murder. Why? For money. Who did you shoot? You. And he shoots him through the thing, and he falls to the ground. By the way, did you spot the fucking priest?
Yeah, Kieran Hines is uncredited. He wasn't even credited for this.
No, I mean that's a big get, isn't it?
Yeah, he's the top man in Tomb Raider 2, isn't he?
Indeed, he is. The priest falls to the ground. The little boy, and behind him is this kid shot in the head. Holding like his confession. Now, I saw this in the cinema, and we're probably about 25, 30 minutes into the film here, and it was full of mostly men, as I remember, absolutely guffawing the whole way through. And this happened, and it took probably about 20 minutes for anybody to get back into the swing of the film.
Oh God,
because it's such a fucking gut punch, isn't it?
Aye, it's like that. Jack Rabbit, that the Nazi one where they see the shoes. It's like that sort of feeling you get. Yeah,
of course it is. Yeah. Oh man, Jojo, I haven't thought about Jojo Rabbit. Desperately trying to get Rachel to watch it all the time. Now she's going to listen to this and not going to watch it. Did you spot the three things that the little boy was confessing?
No,
on his little sheet.
I was still in shock.
1, being moody. 2, being bad at maths. And 3, being sad. Right. Is being bad at maths a sin? Because if so, I am going to fucking hell.
I am fucked.
I am done for. And I'm not Catholic, so I can't confess. Anyway.
God, if that's the case, I'm going to the 3,000 circles of hell.
Present day, in an art gallery. Ray isn't getting it, but what he does say he likes is The Last Judgment by Hieronymus Bosch, which I've seen this one a few times. It's quite an interesting painting. This one. It's known as a triptych, so it's a painting in 3 parts. So you've got like the main part of the painting, and then you've got 2 kind of side, narrow kind of bits of the painting, which is quite interesting. It's painted in 1842, and it's currently lives at the Academy of Fine Arts in Vienna.
Means nothing to me.
Hey! He's here all week. Try the veal. He explains it's earth, heaven, and purgatory. You know purgatory, like Tottenham. Which is like, I like
only
that.
Warmer.
Where, if you had to name a place that would be purgatory, John, where do you think it would be?
Postal Park.
Okay.
You know where the drug dealers live.
To be honest, I'm going with Stoke-on-Trent, so they're not a million miles apart. Okay. Ray asks Ken what he believes. He says, what you're told as a child, holding the door open for an old lady. But I've killed people, but not nice people. Except for one guy who was nice. A lollipop man that came at him with a bottle.
This is a great conversation.
Ray says basically, oh yeah, but a bottle's a lethal weapon in the right hands. He says, yeah, but if you've been trained in karate, you can kill a man with your bare hands. Yeah, but what lollipop man knows karate? What 50-year-old lollipop man knows karate? Ray's basically struggling to deal with his actions. The little boy's dead because of him, and it's never going away, he says, unless he goes away. That night, Ray's on his date with Chloe. He explains to her that he kills people, as she says she sells drugs to film stars.
Everybody's honest.
Yeah. He says he saw the dwarf actor, and he didn't wave to him. But she explains it's because he was on ketamine. And he's like, what's ketamine? She says it's a strong horse tranquilizer. She, by the way, John, is smoking indoors.
So I double checked. It's okay. We're all good because I checked it out, and it turns out that smoking in public places was banned in the 1st of July 2007 in the UK,
Yeah.
but it wasn't banned until March 2011 in Belgium.
Wow. Right. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry, man. I got you covered because I was like, oh, she's smoking, but yeah, turns out they were still allowed.
So it was 2011 that all the
2000
pubs and everything fucking stank.
Everybody else.
The day
jumped out.
that everyone had stopped smoking in them.
Do you want to hear another weird fact as well?
I do.
Of course you do. That's no point fucking show. You get fined for littering in Belgium, the usual. But if you get caught cleaning your car outside your property, in theory you could risk a fine of €450 because the way they see it is you're putting toxins and stuff like that into the
Into the water system.
Into the water system, aye.
Wow.
So I know it's crazy, isn't it?
So you have to go and get it done at a car wash.
You have to go and get it done at a car wash because they have to obviously get it done in the same drains.
That is astonishing.
Yeah, it's amazing what you look up. It's amazing what you get. Mate, honestly, see if the FBI get a hold of my search history.
Your CIA guy is absolutely just giving up.
I was like, no, because even the day I was like, Kirsty, I was like, what do you think it would say if they see me googling this? Because I was looking up, would you get a higher sentence if you killed a priest? Turns out you don't, by the way.
Oh, right, okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. Thank you. He says there's never been a film in Bruges because it's a shithole. So she's from Bruges and this upsets her. He says, look, midgets have got to take drugs to stick it, which is a good line. He tells a Belgian joke, doesn't he? What's Belgium famous for? Chocolates and child abuse, and they only invented chocolate to get the kids. Okay, she's upset. One of the girls that was killed in that child abuse case was her friend. Blah, 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 blah. Not really. I just wanted to upset you. She heads to the loo, and the guy across from them, fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, he's a few things, isn't he? Like Shield and all that.
Yeah, semi kind of recognisable. He goes, "What's so?" Like he's like, "I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it." And then he goes, "Yeah, fuck it. What's unbelievable?" He's like, "You talking to me?" And then the line is, he pauses, even though he should just hit the cunt. Yes, I'm talking to you. What's unbelievable? Now, I've got to be honest. I wish I could narrate everything I do.
Oh god, that was a good.
That's a really good bit. That, but I'm kind of like, no, you'd look like a right twat if you did that. He says smoke. He says yes, smoking. He said yeah, but she's smoking in a smoking area. He says yeah, but she blew my smoke exactly into my face. I don't want to die because of your ignorance. What does Ray say?
Okay, I mean.
That's what the Vietnamese said.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's like, what do you mean? That's what the Vietnamese said. And he keeps saying it. And then he runs over and batters him. That's for John Lennon, you Yankee cunt.
And then a bottle, you see the bottle flying towards his feet nearly, though.
She comes at him with the bottle, doesn't she? And he's like, bottle, don't bother. Punches her. It's a proper, like, sucker punch.
Oh,
I love that. They dash off out. Absolutely perfect. Right, so, of course, the joke in this is later on that the reason that this guy didn't get that's what the Vietnamese said is because, why?
Because the arrogant Yanks just tried to invade it and wasted a lot of lives.
But he isn't American.
Oh God, he's Canadian.
He's you eat the Canadian. He's Canadian, and of course, as we well know, Canada did not officially participate in the Vietnam War. However, it contributed to peacekeeping forces in 1973 to enforce the Paris Peace Accords, which Donald Trump doesn't believe in.
No, quite bad.
Yeah, he just wants to grab Vietnam by the pussy or something. Anyway,
and inject it with
yeah. Back in the hotel room, Ken is watching. I was like, I recognise that, but I can't think what it is. So I had to do some Googling. He's watching a film. He's watching Orson Welles' Touch of Evil from 1958. Right. One of the most famous scenes for that is a continuous shot. From this point of the scene, Ken's phone call with Harry is one continuous shot, and they use that as an homage to the film.
That's cool.
Now, I really liked this back and forth between these two. Is Ray there? Can he hear? Oh, he's in the loo. He lies. Send him on an errand for half an hour. And he does this acting bit of, Ray, why don't you go out to the pub? Yeah, I know I said you couldn't, but maybe you should. I don't know, actually. I don't know if there's any bowling. Maybe go and have a look and see. It's just fucking... Fuck me.
It's quite elaborate, isn't it?
It is extremely elaborate. And then he's like, and then he goes out, obviously. Oh, that's him away now. He's definitely away. He says, make sure he's actually gone. And he goes and checks the door. And obviously, he even opens the door, doesn't he? Like, yeah, he's definitely gone. I kind of liked that. You realise there are no bowling alleys in Bruges. Ken says Ray isn't having a good time. He says it's not really his thing. How can it not be his thing? It's fucking medieval fairy tale or this kind of thing. Is the swan still there? That's a great line. When Peter Lachaise was executed in 1488, Maximilian of Austria's punishment was that Bruges keeps swans forever.
Oh, wow.
So that's why the swan's still there.
Really?
John and Harry. His line, he said, do you know what he said? He says, I know I'm awake, but I feel like I'm in a dream.
Oh.
And I thought that was really sweet. Oh, it was really nice. And again, Ken's coming up with all this, kind of like on the hoof. And it's good stuff.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we got him something before we had to kill him, is the basic premise. So go and see Yuri and get a weapon. Ken brought him in, so if he doesn't kill him, then the book stops with Ken.
Yep.
Ray killed a child, and Harry says that there's a code. Give me a call when he's dead. And that's that. At Chloe's, Ray and Chloe are at it on the bed. The boyfriend turns up with a gun, sticks it in the back of his neck, threatens to shoot him. Ray lays the nut on him and grabs the gun. There's this thing, some shit about skinheads being soft. That isn't the line, but I'm not going to say the line.
It's just Eric, isn't it? His name is Eric.
I remember when skinheads used to beat up 12-year-old Pakistani kids and all this kind of thing. And yes, I know that happened, but I've always had a lot of mates that were skinheads in the 90s and 2000s. And we would never get up to that. There's skinheads to my mind now are probably people that you would approach in the street if you were getting bother off somebody.
Oh God, I
think skinheads, very much like Sikhs, are somebody that you would approach straight away because you know you'll get help off a skinhead.
Just look for a bony person. Yeah. I did read. I was reading this thing about when they were making Pink Floyd, they employed 250 skinheads.
Right.
You see this to do the mob scene.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I've never seen 250 skinheads. I'm sure there was only a scene with two of them running down the street. I must have missed that.
Must be in the background somewhere. Yeah. Eric comes at them. Ray shoots him in the eye with a blank. He says, "I can't see." Of course you can't see. I shot you in the eye with a blank. They rob tourists, but she does really like Ray. She kisses him goodbye before taking Eric to the hospital.
Whereas he helps himself with her drugs, doesn't he?
He does, absolutely. Blanks are just a shell. There's no kind of projectile inside it, but it does cause a flashbang, hence Eric's eye going all red and knackered.
Yeah.
He takes a box of bullets as well, not blanks for the gun. Got to point that out because that's going to come back in a couple of scenes' time. We see Ken in the bar. He's had 4 beers in 20 minutes, as we said. He's not doing great. Jimmy, the actor, arrives with a woman. He's basically a dick, and he says, "Are you from the States?" He says, "I am, just don't hold it against me." And Ken's line is, "Just don't say anything too loud and crass." It's a real dig at the Americans, this film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ray turns up. He is all over the shop. He says, "Oh yeah, I've just." He explains what's happened, and I've robbed 5 grams of coke. Says, "You've got 5 grams of coke. You've got 5 grams of coke." "Oh no, I've got 4 grams of coke and 1 in me." So explain that if my heart gives up. He gives Ken a gram and heads over to see Jimmy necking on with this prostitute. Just prods him in the face.
He's just on. He's just prodding him in the face.
Why didn't you say hello to me before? Because I'm on very strong horse tranquilizer. I wasn't saying hello to anybody except maybe a horse. What? this thing that Colin Farrell can do with his eyebrows is fucking brilliant. Like
Aye.
his eyebrows, like fucking Ming the Merciless eyebrows.
Yeah,
How he
yeah,
does
you
it.
can bring him in. I
Oh
know.
man, it's so good.
That's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Would you like some cocaine? And then Ken comes by, like gurning, like his look.
Aye, everybody showed it as well, so they're both looking at them with pure wide eyes. It was so weird to see. It was good though.
It's some great acting. Ray's talking to Jimmy about little people actors that killed themselves. Ken explains Harry hasn't called yet. He basically lies. And then Jimmy explains there's going to be a war between black people and white people. Ray asks him a series of ethnic minorities. Will it be, will the Vietnamese be on the black side, and et cetera, et cetera. And basically, Jimmy says every ethnic minority is going to side on the black side. That's the fucking, and it's not great.
Descends into chaos, doesn't it?
Ken explains he had a black wife who in 1975 was killed by a white guy. Whose side's he supposed to be on? It turns out it's Harry that killed the guy that killed Ken's wife. So we learn that there's some sort of honor connection there. Yeah, absolutely. Ken stands up, says, 2 manky hookers and a racist dwarf. I'm heading to bed. Ray picks up the drugs, Paul follows him, and judo chops Jimmy, doesn't he? Don't say you didn't have it coming.
That's right, because he tried to take his drugs, didn't he?
Yeah. Next morning, Ken's up at 8 a.m. And heads off to 17 Ramstrasse, which is a real address.
Yep, Ramstrasse.
Ramstrasse. Like Ram, but with 2 A's. Like Ram, but with 2 A's. He meets Yuri. Yuri's funny. Yuri's kind of an interesting character.
The alcoves.
Yeah, he gives it this good sense. Yeah. He says, lots of places in Conning Astrid Park, which is 500 yards away from where the hotel is, by the way. Not far away at all. He says, nooks and crannies. Yes, this is a much more accurate nooks and crannies. He loves it, and he loves nooks and crannies.
He does, aye. It's a new expression to learn.
Yeah. He says, he suggests that he doesn't think he's willing to do it. He says, of course I'm going to do it. Back at the hotel, the owner explains, Marie, she's called, explains that Ray was acting strangely and gave her €200 to give to the baby and said he was going to the park.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see Ken watching Ray, and Ray's sat on the bench watching children play in the park. Ken approaches Ray, and this is how I expect a hitman would kind of approach someone they're going to shoot. Like the way he walks really quickly but silently. It's pretty good. And as he's about to shoot him, he's like, "Sorry, Ray." He pulls up the gun, to puts it to his temple. Ken shouts and stops him. Ray spots the gun. He's like, "You're going to kill me." He says, "Yeah, but you're going to kill yourself." He says, "You're not allowed to kill yourself." He said, "Wait, you're allowed to and I'm not. How is that fair?" It's a good line. Ken explains he wasn't going to go through with it. He absolutely was. He's a brilliant liar, Ken. He lies throughout the whole film. Ray explains that Ken's gun's much better than his quote-unquote girl's gun.
Cold Python, by the way.
Oh, was it? I thought it was a little belter, that. It looked like a bit of a stopper.
Aye.
He gives Ray money to leave. He says he might have killed the little boy, but he could save the next one. Be a doctor? You've got to pass exams for that. Just this fantastically Dougal way of talking is great. Kent says, "Yeah, look, it was going to be one last chance for you to enjoy yourself." And Ray says, "In Bruges?" And I was like, "Wah, wah, wah." There you go. You says the title, you wins the movie. Ray gets on the train, and Ken says he's going to handle Harry when the train leaves. Ken calls Harry from the station. "Can you hear that?" "Yes, of course it's a fucking train. But do you know what train it is?" "No." "Well, that's the train that Ray's on, leaving." He says, "Look, do your worst. You know where I am. I've gotten to quite like Bruges. It's like a fucking fairy tale or something." And he slams the phone down. And for the first time, we see Harry, right, and he just starts smashing the fuck out of this phone.
God. I'm sure he hurt himself because some of them hits look really hard.
Big hits. The wife walks in. We recognise her out of loads of fucking TV stuff.
Yeah, and she's like, you're smashing up an inanimate object. What does he say?
You're a fucking inanimate object.
Brilliant.
And then she just goes back into the kids, and then he comes in, he's like, and I'm sorry for calling you an inanimate object. Which is really good. Explaining to the kids he's got to go to Bruges. Well, what's in fucking Bruges? It's work. We see Ken putting on his shirt and tie and his suit. He puts Ray's gun in the drawer of the hotel dresser.
Yeah, it was a good touch. I wondered why he did that. Yeah, that's what he was going to try and get Harry back to the hotel, so it was a bit weird, setup.
He leaves a letter and then picks up his gun. On Ray's train, it draws to a halt in the middle of this field, doesn't it? And the police get on. You are Irish? You eat the Canadian? He's like, eat the Canadian? And as he looks around, that's him! That's the motherfucker! We're taking you back to Bruges. Oh, for fuck's sake. Now Harry's in Bruges. He goes to see Yuri. Eric sat on this couch, isn't he, with the eye patch on? Aye. Yeah. It's a classic British dad pattern. I love it.
It really is. Something I'd have said. Aye.
This selection of guns on the table, and the line is, an Uzi, I'm not from South Central Los fucking Angeles, ready to do a drive-by and shoot 12, 10-year-olds. I want a normal gun for a normal person.
Well, I've got the guns for you if you want to do the guns now.
Of course I do.
So that Uzi was an IMI Uzi. There was a Beretta 92, Smith & Wesson Model 60, Smith & Wesson 5903, a Steiner TMP, Colt Python, which I've already mentioned, Heckler & Glock MK23, and a Benelli M3 Sniper.
Benelli and the Jets. Good spot. While we're on the facts, John, London to Bruges is £121.36 on Wednesday of next week. That's the cheapest ticket. It takes 3 hours, 14 minutes with one change.
Right.
Which is an hour less than Carlisle to London on a direct train. Fuck that noise. And fuck privatised rail in the UK. Support your striking RMT members, listeners. If you wanted to fly, John, it's 3 hours, 15-minute flight from Edinburgh with a change at Amsterdam. 258 quid.
258 quid?
Yeah.
That's actually all right.
Much cheaper and quicker than the train. He offers him different bullets here, Yuri, doesn't he?
Yeah, dum-dums. You like dum-dums?
you know this word?
No, it's dum-dums.
Dum-dums, yeah.
Dum-dums.
Do you know what they are?
Are they like hollow? I thought they were like hollow points.
Yeah, well, they are. They expand when they hit something. So the hollow points. They expand when they hit something. So that's what causes kind of like an explosion on contact.
Right.
So it's a bigger wound almost.
Nice.
If you know what I mean.
Nice.
I love this look he gives him, and he's like, I know I shouldn't, but I will. Doesn't he?
I know. It's like, I'll have a chocolate.
Eric explains he'll never be able to see out of his eye again after being shot in the eye with a blank. Harry says it's all his fault. He should stop whinging and cheer the fuck up. Which I liked a lot. In the square, Harry sees Ken enjoying a beer, and he joins him. He explains Ray's suicidal and he never wanted to kill him. He put a loaded gun to his head this morning. And you stopped him. This gets fucking worse.
That's going to solve all our problems.
Yeah.
His, yours, mine.
That's right, yeah. If I killed a little kid, I'd have killed myself on the spot. Hold
no
that
question.
thought.
I know, no question.
Brilliant. That might be coming back towards the end of the film. I think now's probably a good time, John, to have another couple of facts about Bruges, don't you?
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, okay. There are more castles per square inch than any other country in the world. There are about 50 of the 470 castles in the Flanders region are based in and around Bruges.
Hey diddly.
And there are more than 80 bridges in Bruges. There you go. You like that?
Is that Bacilla of Holy Blood look bloody good as well?
It looked good, didn't it? Yeah, it looked like something else.
Built in the 12th century, I might add.
Oh, excellent. That's handy. Now we know how old it is.
I've seen the plaque at the front.
Ken explains that Ray has the possibility to change Harry thinks he has the same possibility, that he can change for the worse. He says, with all due respect, you're a cunt. You've always been a cunt. You only have the possibility to be a bigger cunt and maybe have some more cunt kids.
Oh man, this is a great conversation.
Leave my kids out of it. Retract that bit about my cunt kids.
That was funny. That made me laugh a lot, actually.
I love that. Harry explains that Ray's currently in one of the 1 million cities in Europe that aren't Bruges. We smash cut to Ray being bailed out by Chloe in Bruges. They head to the bell tower for Harry to take Ken down. But the tower's closed because an American had a heart attack up there yesterday.
It all comes together full circle.
Harry batters the fuck out the attendant for telling him it's closed and going, listen to me, you fucking English or whatever. And he twatted him, like pointing him in the head. Meanwhile, Ray's winching with Chloe in the square. They see the actor, Jimmy, in a schoolboy's uniform and they're laughing at him. And at the top of the tower, Ken refuses to pick up his gun. I love you unreservedly for your integrity and honour, but the boy had to be given a chance. And to do that, I had to say, fuck you and everything I owe you. I accept everything you've got to do. Totally. Oh, you said all that stuff and I can't shoot you now.
It's a good scene, though. It's a brilliant scene.
He shoots him in the leg. Oh, you shot me in the fucking leg. He says, I'm not going to not shoot you. I'm not going to not shoot you because you're being all Robert Powell, Jesus of Nazareth.
Mate, I looked that up. See the running time for Jesus of Nazareth is 6 hours and 22 minutes.
Is it that long?
6 hours and 20. I think it's in 2 sections, but Jesus, fuck that.
No, you're all right. Robert Powell, I know specifically from
the Jasper Carrot
39 Steps and exactly the Detectives.
Aye, that's what, as soon as I said the name, I'm like, I know that name, and sure enough, it's him.
In the square, Eric spots Chloe and Ray and runs to the tower to tell Harry the fucking grass. Ken and Harry tussle. Harry shoots Ken in the neck before apologising and running off. Ken drags himself to the top of the tower, throwing coins to ensure the people below get out of the way, and throws himself off the ledge. There's this brilliant splat Foley sound here, by the way.
It's horrific.
And just this
explosion
of blood.
Mm-hmm.
Ray heads over, and in his final breath, he tells Ray that Harry's there. He's landed on his gun, it's in bits, and the line is, I'm going to die now. That is not the most poignant of final words, is it?
It's a showstopper, though, isn't it? Because I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and he goes, and it's terribly sad. Harry shows up, points the gun at Ray, taking pot shots at him. Back at the hotel, Ray tells Mary to hide and heads up to the room where he finds the gun. Downstairs, there's a commotion, and Harry's trying to get up. She tells him she's going nowhere, so you can fuck off. It's good. Ray shouts down to Harry. He's going to jump out the window and into the canal, and Harry can chase him. There's this bit about, well, which way do I go, left or right? He's like, it's a fucking massive canal. You can't miss it.
I thought you were going to go Irish there.
No. Ray jumps onto the boat that's below him and the boat keeps driving. From the bridge, he's miles away, by the way.
He really is.
And Ray's like, you can't get me from there. He shoots him and gets him in the gut, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Ray jumps off the boat, just about, when it docks, and limps onto the film set. There's loads of people dressed as creatures. It's creepy. It's very much like the Hieronymus Bosch painting. Like people are dressed very, very similarly, monsters and dreams and all that kind of thing. Jimmy comes across as he spots him lurching and falling, heads towards him. Ray gets shot 3 times by Harry. One of the bullets explodes the head. But of course it wouldn't, because it would have already exploded going through Ray.
To Ray.
Yeah, so I hope someone got fired for that blunder. But of course...
Dum-dums.
You know this word? So Harry only sees the school uniform because it's exploded the head of the actor. Ray tries to explain it's not what you think. But Harry says, it's the principal. Puts a gun in his mouth and...
Blammo.
Blammo indeed, John.
Your favourite. Blammo.
Ray gets carried away to an ambulance, and that's the end.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
It's very, very good, I think, personally. I think it's very funny.
It's so dark, though.
Yeah, it is.
I actually forgot how dark it was.
So did
I. To the point where I was like, oh, this is This is harsh.
Yeah. Any extra factoroonies before we?
Yes. Bruges has got 2 Pizza Huts. Well, it's got 3 because one's a delivery only. I just double checked.
I missed the line. I didn't write it down because I thought this is never going to come up. And he says, "Oh, what did you have to eat?" We had a pizza Hut. What was it like? Oh, the same as it is in London. He said, "Oh, but that's globalisation for you, isn't it?" I didn't write it down because I did. Oh, well done, John.
No worries. The average adult has 46 litres of blood. This means that if they can die losing either 2.5 or 4 litres of the blood, depending on obviously your size.
Okay.
That's it.
So what if you're a fucking elephant?
Well, it's mainly all mainly all lemon curd that's in there and
KFC gravy.
Oh God! Don't you diss KFC gravy, man?
No, not
nectar. Nectar of the slobs, big man. Nectar of the slobs.
Martin McDonagh, the director, is actually British, but with Irish parents, which surprised me because he writes Irish dialogue really convincingly.
Yeah, he did well.
This was nominated for Best Original Screenplay and didn't win it. He was also nominated Best Original Screenplay for 3 Billboards in the Oscars. 2009.
Oh, really?
Didn't win. Lost to Jordan Peele for Get Out, which is also very, very good. It's also very, very good.
Yeah.
I think this is better written, but with 2022 eyes, it's a lot worse written, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Any more for any more?
Yes, absolutely. The hotel that they stay at is the Realis Borgosh Kreuz Hotel on Wollerstraat. It is not easy for me to say. £185 a night. Doesn't appear to let you stay at weekends. So I couldn't find out how much it was for a 2-week stay. You can't book it for a 2-week stay. Bruges, the name Bruges is thought to derive from the old Scandinavian word brygge, meaning mooring place or harbour.
Right.
There are 6.5 million Flemish speakers. It is very closely related to Dutch. And although we saw the one dog, it's just the one dog actually. I can't believe I'm doing a swan reference in this. Although we saw the one dog sat on the table here, there is a famous dog in the film. There's a glimpse when they're on the canal boat trip of Fidel, a Labrador that would sit in the window of the Coat Canal B&B, and you kind of see him just sat there, and everybody would take photos of him because he would never leave this spot. But he died in 2016. Just like Kenny Baker, but he wasn't 81. He was only 12. And by the looks of it, not a feisty one either.
Certainly not.
No. And John, that is all he wrote. How do you think we got on?
I'm going to say 89.
Oh, it's lower than that, John, sadly.
76.
Oh, 76, look at that!
What?
76. Whoa, what's the chances of that? Fantastic.
Second guessing, big man. Second guessing.
About them apples.
Nice.
So give it a go, listeners. If you haven't seen it, I certainly think it's probably worth watching. We've kind of ruined it for you. But I think it's definitely worth a watch.
It's worth a punt. Yeah, it's dark. All right. After watching it, I've recommended it to about 3 or 4 people.
Yeah, it's great fun. Okay, shout outs to the lovely patrons. We have got Punk from What the Fuck Do You Want? He's another podcast, by the way, that is desperate to get you on, John, but you're just not going to do it. You're on everything at the minute, and people are going to get even more annoyed next week when you're on something else that is. Punk is going to withdraw his fucking funds. I'm going to have to create you some sort of account just to have a chat with Punk about. But what the fuck do you want is the perfect show for you to go on, because it's only 30 minutes long, and you'll get the game of your fucking dreams.
Oh, do you know what I mean? Like Mr. Universe?
Yeah.
Never going to happen.
SP Film Viewers Podcast. Paul, by the way, and Sophie have done in Bruges. That's a fun episode, and much better than anything we'll ever do. Mono and Kira from Mono Rants, another podcast you've been on. I did actually ask Mono his opinion on this, because they've done an episode on this film as well. And he doesn't like it as much as we do, but they only watched it recently.
All right, okay.
He told me verbatim, I think it's because I am Irish. the conversation's so normal to me. There's humour, sure, but it's not funny enough to be a comedy. It's also not tense enough to be a thriller. To me, it's a character study that's just Irish in its dialogue. I hear conversations like that all the time. Probably the R word and all the gay bashing. It's not a bad film. I just don't get the hype. The Guard is far superior, in my opinion.
I see. I think I know what he means, because when I watch Trainspotting, I just see it as social commentary and people just sitting having a laugh.
I see what you mean. I see exactly what you mean. Yeah. Nigel Davis is the owner of the Wonder Emporium. He'll sell you some tabletop accessories. Find him on Facebook and Etsy at the Wonder Emporium, and tell him that you listen to the podcast, and that's where you found him, and he will give you a discount or some free bits and pieces. He still hasn't agreed to that, but I know he will, because he's such a nice guy. Dan Belson, Gavin Belson, we've already talked about them from the Be Here with Belson podcast. That's another podcast you should go on, but you've got them on WhatsApp. By the way, Punk, send me your number on. Send me your phone number. I will get John on. Yeah. We'll do that. That's what we'll fucking do.
WhatsApp.
Yeah. Fuck. Oh, Jesus. a reference for the fucking dads, that one.
Hey, bud. Don't get me started.
Aaron from Z1 Podcast, an audio drama about zombies and surviving marriage. Joe, Hallmark of Greatness podcast. My God, the film we fucking did this week, by the way, for Hallmark of Greatness is
incredible.
Oh, Christmas mystery. There's no Christmas. There's no mystery. It's fucking awful. Get that
Christmas misery.
Josh Wilson from Super Familiar with the Wilsons. Let's watch the world burn together, John. Gadget, Stig, and Big E from Modern Escapism. We've already talked about Gadget. By the way, these guys, I'm in a Secret Santa with these guys at the minute. It's fantastic. Right. I can't tell you who I've got. It's none of those three. I can't tell you who I've got, but I've got someone from Modern Escapism Network. That is a lot of fun. Get involved in that as well. Those guys are super smashing great. Ian and Maria from Cult Connections podcast. They've just finished Andor. I will be recording with Ian talking about Bullseye. No, not Let's Have a Look at What You Could Have Won. Not that one, John. But the 1991 Michael Winner film starring Michael Caine and Michael Caine and the little fella from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins. Yeah, Bob Hoskins. No, I've never seen it, and it's one of these films I really want to see because it's a Michael Winner film, so it's bound to be brutal. So that's what we're doing. People that do not contribute other than by money, Phil, Ian, and Gav, and somebody that does contribute other than money, my beautiful and amazing wife, Rachel, who does all the fact-finding. She does some fact-finding. Me and John do all the best facts. We get the greatest facts. We get the best facts, people. We get the greatest facts.
Best facts ever.
So give us a quid and we'll say something nice or horrible about you in those. That would be good. By the way, if you've got something that you want to advertise on this, throw us a fucking message. Throw us a clip or something, and we'll throw it in the beginning. We'll throw it in the beginning. But you've got to be paying us a quid to get that in there. All right, smashing. John, next week's going to be the results of the Christmas patron choice. So you and I will be will be deciding what that's going to be.
We're at the mercy of these
shortly. Yeah, I know what I want it to be. I know what I want it to be, but we'll see. They'll decide. It's never going to be the film we want it to be, but we'll see.
Bottom of the list. Exactly. The one you put in for fun is the one they always.
Of course, it is. Yeah, it's the one that's the shittest. Yeah, exactly. Right, but for now, he's been John. I've been Plenty, and this has been 76 things we learned from in Bruges. You fucking inanimate object. See ya.
See you, cunts.